NEET aspirants. Today we're going to study fertilization, implantation, pregnancy, and embryonic development. So we all know that during copulation, the semen is deposited in the vagina, and the motile sperms then move from the cervix, from the cervical canal into the cervix, and through the cervix into the uterus. And from the uterus, this few motile sperms swim towards the ampullary region of the fallopian tube, and simultaneously an ovum also is taken to the ampullary region, and it is at this ampullary region that fertilization occurs. What is fertilization? It is nothing but the union of the sperm and the ovum. So here we can see this is an ovum, this is the sperm. Okay. Now the ovum has this layer of cells called the corona radiata. The outermost layer is the corona radiata. Then we have the zona pellucida, and then we have this perivitaline space. Okay. So how do we remember this? We have CZP. Let us say colorful zebras play. Okay, so that we can remember it from outside to inwards. We have the corona radiata, zona pellucida, and the perivitaline space. So now the sperm, this is the sperm, it moves through the corona radiata, and it crosses the zona pellucida and the perivitaline space, and this acrosome of the sperm plays a very important role here. So once this one single sperm crosses this barrier and enters the ovum, at that point changes occur in this zona pellucida, and then this ovum will become impassable for the other sperms. So this prevents multiple sperms from joining to the or getting attached to the ovum. Okay. What we saw is the change in the ovum on the outer membrane of the ovum, that it became it acts as a barrier for the other sperms once a single sperm has crossed. But what happens inside the ovum? So inside the ovum, meiosis takes place again. Okay, and one small polar body is formed. ठीक है, meiosis हो गया. तो किसका हो गया meiosis? Secondary oocyte का. At the time when the sperm fuses with the ovum is in the stage of secondary oocyte. ठीक है. So, and meiosis occurs, one polar body is formed and one haploid ovum, also called as ootid, is formed. Okay? And now the sperm will fuse with the ootid. Okay? Now ootid is haploid, sperm is haploid. So the end result that we will have will be a diploid zygote. Okay? And the number of chromosomes in the zygote will be 46, and it will be 23 pairs. Okay? 23 pairs is equal to 46 chromosomes. Okay? Now let us move ahead. Once this zygote is formed, ठीक है. So here, as we saw, this is the region where the fertilization occurs. Once this is formed, then we have mitotic division. So see, look at this stage. This is the fertilization stage. Then here we see the mitotic division happening. Once the mitotic division happens, this zygote moves towards the uterus through the isthmus. Then there are multiple mitotic divisions, and these small units that are formed after mitosis, these are called blastomeres. So you have this blastomere, these are the blastomeres. Okay. Now there is again division of the blastomeres, and finally we come to a stage where around 8 to 16 blastomeres are there, and this stage is called the morula. Sorry, this stage is called the morula. After this stage, we have this morula then transforms into the blastocyst. The blastocyst has two layers. One is the inner cell mass, and second outside is the trophoblast. Okay. So we can see at this level, okay, look, this is this blastocyst. Then the blastocyst gets embedded in the uterine tissue. You can see this, and this is called implantation. Okay. And what will happen is, once this is embedded, the uterine tissue will grow and cover this whole blastocyst. This whole process is called implantation. Okay. Moving ahead, so once this blastocyst gets implanted into the uterus, so we will have so we had seen that there are two cell masses. So this is the trophoblast, and we had this inner cell mass. So this trophoblast will form this. It will form chorionic villi. These are the outgrowths, and which will embed into the uterine tissue. And this combination of both chorionic villi and the uterine tissue is together called as the placenta. It's very, very important. And then this inner cell mass gets divided into the ectoderm and endoderm, and then after some few days, mesoderm is formed. So we have the ectoderm, the endoderm, and the mesoderm, and these all are stem cells, and they give rise to respective tissues later on. Now let us try to understand the function of the placenta. Okay. So what function does it play? As expected, it will provide nutrition to the developing fetus. ठीक है. Nutrition में क्या आता है? It will provide oxygen. It will take away carbon dioxide. It will provide nutrients, and it will take away excretory products. ठीक है. And the connection of the placenta with the developing embryo is the umbilical cord. Okay. Now this placenta also plays the role of a endocrine tissue, that it generates hormones. So which hormones did it generate? One is the human chorionic gonadotropin, HCG. Then we have the human placental lactogen. Then we have estrogens, we have progesterone, and another hormone called as relaxin. Now, these hormones, that is HCG, HPL, relaxin, etc., are formed only during pregnancy. So this is a indicator of pregnancy. Okay? Now, let us try to understand how is the sex of the embryo determined, or how is the sex of the fetus determined. So we have seen that males have X and Y chromosomes, females have X and X chromosomes. So the ovums which will be formed will be both having X chromosomes, 50% X, all 100% X chromosomes. In males, the sperms which will be formed, 50% will be having X chromosome and 50% will be having Y chromosome. Okay? So depending upon which type of sperm fuses with the ovum, the sex determination will vary. So it is the father who is responsible for the sex of the child and not the mother. Now let us see the different type of milestones that happen. Okay. So in the first month we will hear a heartbeat. In the second month of pregnancy, the limbs and digits will start forming. In the third trimester, the organ systems will start forming. In the second trimester, the eyelids are formed, the eyelashes are formed, and there is fine hair all over the body. And at the end of the third trimester, we have a fully developed baby. Okay? I hope you have understood this topic. If you have any doubts, feel free to write in the comments. Thank you very much.